Do you ever find yourself reading the same sentence 5 times in a row and then you're like, wait, what did I just read again? Yeah. I'm going to share with you my 7 tips to stop getting distracted. Now these are the exact same steps that I use in med school to get into flow state every single time. Tips 1, 4 and 6 are those kind of hacks that you just won't find anywhere else. So you're definitely going to want to stick around. Step 1, declutter your mind. Do you ever get that feeling when you first wake up and just not feeling 100% yourself? A bit on edge, but just can't quite clear your head. I call these brain weeds. These could be unconscious thoughts or worries that are lingering in your head that you didn't even know were there in the first place. I like to use morning pages to clear my headspace. What is morning pages? Morning pages is 3 pages of longhand, stream of consciousness writing done first thing in the morning. The point is to write every thought that comes to your mind and hold nothing back. I tweaked mine to 1 page long because I thought 3 pages is a bit of an overkill, and I literally felt the benefits after a few days of doing morning pages. It kind of just feels like someone came into my head with this great big old rag and went and cleared all the weeds out of my head. Step 2 is to plan your day according to your goals. After morning pages, I spend the next 15 minutes planning my day before I start any work. Anything you plan should be in alignment with your goal for that day or even the goal for the week. Say if a goal is to study for that chemistry exam that's coming up next week, then your task should only be centered around revision for that subject, doing past year papers, doing practice questions, and revising the notes for chemistry only. Don't even think about physics. If you don't have one goal, then you can't focus on one thing. You start to do whatever you want, even if it's to do physics to feel productive, but you've still failed your goal. A plan keeps you on track. Step number 3, batch similar tasks. I usually plan my day by batching similar and related tasks together. This way you're less likely to have a break in your flow of energy and stay focused in one session. This approach can help you reduce the cognitive load and improve your efficiency. For example, you would batch subjects like physics and maths together since they need your brain to go into that problem-solving analytical mode. Then English and history, for example, are more wordy subjects and require more comprehension. Batch these together. If you're finding this video helpful so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel to see more videos to get to your A game. Step number 4, skip a meal. Okay, well, this one's a bit controversial. What I mean is that you should try intermittent fasting. Those who tried out intermittent fasting for extended period of time experience the benefits of feeling less brain fog from food coma and have better focus in general. I started skipping breakfast in my final year of medical school. Not only did I save a lot of time from this, I also felt a lot more focused in the morning. Warning though, you might feel super grumpy in the first week or 2 when you first start. Obviously, this isn't a medical advice, but if you're otherwise healthy, why not give it a try? And if you tried intermittent fasting before, how did you find it? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, by now your focus should be pretty damn strong, but the hardest part is actually to keep that focus. Because the reality is, if you do have a 12-hour study day, you're going to daydream once, twice, or 3 times. You just can't avoid it. So the next few steps is designed to reduce that damage as much as possible. Step number 5 is brain dump. The concept of brain dump is pretty similar to step number 1, which is decluttering your mind. Basically, you're trying to reset your brain. As you catch yourself daydreaming, quickly jot down what these thoughts are. Now this is a super important step because what you're doing is you're giving your brain a break. Because you're saying to it, hey look, I know you're worried, I know you're thinking about these things, but I'm gonna just put it aside for now and I'll deal with it after I finish the study session. So you don't feel like you have to hang on to those thoughts, which really clutters your mind and that makes it harder to study. If you entertain them, you'll find that it's super hard to get back on track. This leads to my next point. Step 6 is to cut your losses fast. What this means is training yourself to be a mental police. As soon as you catch your mind wandering or wanting to scroll on social media, stop as soon as possible. This is to minimize the damage done to the loss of your focus. I find that this is a more realistic way to deal with distractions. I know there are apps and extensions that you can put in to prevent yourself from scrolling on social media, but it can be such a pain because you know you're going to be using it after you finish your studying anyway. So I like to cut my losses fast as soon as I become aware of my thoughts and my actions. Then ask yourself these 3 things when this happens because it will. Number 1, are you due for a break? Number 2, are you due for a snack? Or number 3, are you due for a change? Step number 7 is to change things up. The most effective way to make studying interesting is to keep things different. Now, there are a few things that you can do to spice up your study or your work routine. You can change your study location, your study method, or you can change your body temperature. The first two are pretty self-explanatory, but I'll give you a couple of examples. In medical school with a full study day, I literally go to 3 different libraries from 8 AM to 10 PM. And when I got bored of reviewing notes, I'll switch tabs and I'll draw my maps, and when that became really boring, then I'll do past exam papers or question banks to challenge myself. So those were the first 2 methods. Now I find this last method to be the most time efficient. I change my body temperature by taking a really hot or a cold shower. I find that that's all I need to get going again. I know that sounds pretty basic, and it is. It's simple, but no one really talks about the power of having a shower. Watch this video next if you want to create the most productive study routine.